So we don't have a photograph. We have a digital signal. And then we can look at that digital signal and get a good idea of what's going on.
So whether it's a visual image or it's a signature, it really doesn't matter. You can you can track the speed, altitude, and
right.
all the rest of it of an object.
Right, just as at nighttime you can hear a train go by listening to it without seeing it.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And how many of these kinds of detections of what you and I know as fast walkers do you think there have been? Do you have any sense of how many?
Well, I can give you a precise number here.
Oh, you can?
Well, it's up to the time my database. I got my information from Freedom of Information Act in 1994, and the data goes from 1973 to 1992.
Oh, that's a good long span. All right, this is a good hook. So what I'm going to do is let you gentlemen relax, and when we come back, we will have that answer for everybody, all right?
Okay.
All right, good. I absolutely love doing that to people. It's a fault that you acquire. The more and more you do radio, you learn to sort of keep people on the hook, as it were. Thank you, gentlemen. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back. Spy satellites. We have an expert. The CIA. We have an ex-employee. And then there's me. Black Ops, right? I wonder if this broadcast will make it to term. This is Coast to Coast AM. It is, and boy, what have we got for you this morning? Probably trouble. Ronald Regier, who is an expert, designed spy satellites, knows about them, knows the pictures they can take and took. And we're going to ask about that in a moment. Daryl Sims, who's ex-CIA and is an investigator a ufology investigator. And we'll sort of merge all of these for you as time goes on. This is my first opportunity, though, to talk to an expert on spy satellites, and I love it. Back now to my guests, Ronald Regier and Daryl Sims. Gentlemen, welcome back. We were about to drop a number on them, and the question was, how many of these fast walkers, so-called, during those years that you specified, and you can tell us what they are again, did our satellites image?
Okay, and this is in my book. We have from 1973, which we just had one in 1973, and let's see, no, that's a mistake. We had three in 1973.
Three.
And then 1974 we had five. Then we started getting a little bit better at this. 77 we had a few more. The latest we have total count here between there and 1992. And 1992 is almost a full page of data. 316.
316 unaccountable. Now, let's specify what we're talking about here. Are we talking about objects of the sort that I just described, very fast objects moving through the atmosphere, unaccountably fast, and definitely some sort of objects?
We're talking about things that they identify with the code FW, which I believe stands for fast walker.
Sounds like that to me. They actually use that acronym, huh?
They use that acronym.
I've got a fax here from Ed Dames.
Oh, hi. Say hi. He called me at work one time, and as a matter of fact, the day I received that fax, I got a call at work from Ed Dames.
Really?
I really did.
Well, what he says here is, Ron is the real thing, valuable information for you and your listeners. Though he may have been out of the loop for a decade or more, even he can only imagine what technology can do today. Still, he is walking a fine line. I'm sure that you know what I mean. He certainly does. P.S. A talking point hint. Observe your guest's reaction. Suppose that I knew that a potential enemy country believed that UFOs were real. In that case, I could mimic the behavior of what that particular country recognized as a UFO and penetrate their airspace with impunity. This is not TV. I cannot observe your reaction with silence.
Well, let me quote from a publication called the Soviet Military Review.
Okay.
June 1989, in an article titled UFOs and Security.
Uh-huh.
And what they're doing is they're talking about our SDI. Remember Star Wars that Reagan had?
Oh, yes.
Quote, this missile defense is designed to control outer space and destroy near-Earth, air, and space targets.
Hey.
Any system can be effective only if it is managed by super-quick computer systems.
Right.
It is most important here to correctly identify targets. So, corresponding computer cells must know what signal characteristics of the object it is tracking to make it a potential target. Here's where it gets interesting. We believe that lack of information on the characteristics and influence of UFOs increase the threat of incorrect identification. Mass transition of UFOs along trajectories close to those of combat missiles could be regarded by computers as an attack.
Indeed.
Now think of that for a minute. The Soviet Union actually considered that UFOs could be misidentified by our Star Wars system as attacking Soviet missiles.
Wow.
And that happened playing close to it because in 1960, all the bombers at Travis were put on red alert, and they're actually rolling down the runways after their base radars detected targets flying from the North Pole.
Really?
When those targets disappeared from the screen, they were later on explained as radar reflections of the moon.
Uh-huh. I take it that we increased our DEFCON level. You wouldn't dispatch that kind of force without an increase in DEFCON level.
That's correct. That's DEFCON 3 is launch of forces.
We got to DEFCON 3, you're saying?
Yes. On radar reflections off the moon.
Radar reflections off the moon.
That's one of the things that led me to believe that we can't identify these things. There's a number of little snippets of things like this that make it unconscionable that people would be able to categorize. Let's go back in history for a minute, if I may, Art.
You may.
The first study to investigate phenomenology from space was led out by President Truman, the Rand Corporation. His Secretary of the Navy was Dan Kimball.
Uh-huh.
Dan Kimball spotted a UFO. Dan Kimball left the White House in 1952 when Eisenhower was elected. Dan Kimball went to Aerojet and was the president of Aerojet. Aerojet was founded by Theodore von Karman, who was also the founder of Jet Propulsion Labs.
Uh-huh.
Aerojet's one of the prime makers of deep space sensors. I don't know if there's any tie in there, but as we said earlier, there's coincidences and then there's real strong coincidences.
Yeah, that's right. It's all very incestuous. Listen, we have just gone through, and are going through now, a tremendous controversy about the region of Cydonia on Mars. And there is a camera that Dr. Malin, of Dr. Malin's design on the spacecraft. And there have been great arguments about the quality of photographs that we are getting back. Now, this satellite is in low Mars orbit, just roughly, as a matter of fact, the same altitude as our low orbiters here on Earth. Have you seen the photographs that have been coming back? And if so, are you satisfied that they represent, how can I put this, state-of-the-art technology in this field?
For an Etch-a-Sketch.
For an Etch-a-Sketch?
Here.
You agree with that, Darrell?
Absolutely. No, they don't nearly represent them. For one thing, let's remember some of the basic rules of observing from space. Okay. You have to go through the atmosphere. Mars does not have that dense an atmosphere.
You're so correct. And see, I said this at the time. I monitor the NOAA stuff. it provides crystal clear pictures of what we get. I mean, really crystal clear. You can look at the strips. I put one of them up on my website when the first Mars pictures came back, the first so-called pictures of the face from the new spacecraft. And they had this long, dark, indecipherable strip, which had, in fact, if you dug deep enough, did have some information in it, but it was pathetic.